What's up, everybody? Can you hear me? What's up? We are hosting another Sloth Rapid. Alright. Sloth Rapid re-returns, because we already had Sloth Rapid returns. Re-return. Sparkle Horse, Alms, Akshak, Dracofire, Palots, Urek, and Astrobate so far. 15 plus 5 rapid casual, 5 rounds. Weekly event for our team, Ponda and Horses Club. What's up, Astrobate? What is up? Alright. This is up. We will send out another notification. Let's see. Alright. Tournament link. Copy. Help me send out a call to arms. Copy. Copy. Pond and Horses Club. Message all members. Dear people. Please. Last call. Last call for today's 2 days. Ponda Sloth Rapid. I better get the sloth. Alright, whatever. 5 rounds. Rapid tournament. Join us now. Join us or die. No. Or face the wrath of the sloth. Whatever. Sloth's not even here, but whatever. Paste. Yes, whatever. Bye. Alright, I've got a request to join our team. Miss MK Pokey. Your score 8-1. Remember to enunciate, accept. 300 games rapid. Yes. Look at those ratings. Beautiful. Since chess today has become something of fleeting. Something of fleeting. Something of fleeting. Since chess has become grammatically correct. Alright, whatever. I just want to go back in the browser button. Can I do that? Is that too much to ask? Hello, I would like. There's the join request. I should use those. Alright. So we've got 9 players now. Sparkle Horse, Alms, Bone Atrophy, Akshak, Shaki, Dracofire, Palots, Urek, and Astrobate. We got 13 minutes till the tournament starts at 6:45 p.m. CEST. This is not the titled Tuesday. No, sorry. We don't play that. We don't play on that. No. The evil chess website never would do that. Not cool. Alright. So what's up? What's up, Astrobate? Tell me what's going on, bro. How are things? If chess is an art, Aliakheim. If chess is a science, Capablanca. Man, I don't know, dude. Really? If chess is a struggle, is Capablanca scientific? He didn't seem like scientific. I mean, he was more like just good and a really clean style. I guess this quote was made before Baffinet came along, so whatever. Alright. It's an old quote. And no, we don't do that. Because it's not cool. It's not cool. Evil and horrible and just, oh my god. No, next question. So what's up? Why would you like it? It's horrible. It's ugly. It's run by morons and ugh. It's all about making money for some people that I don't even know who they are. Whatever. This site is awesome. Lichess is awesome. Why would you ever want to play on a different site? No advertising, no commercials, no making money for some creep somewhere. Why would you want to play chess anywhere else but lichess.org? Seriously, that's my question to you. What's up? Alright, we've got 10 players in our team so far. From our team in the tournament. You have to be in our team to be in the tournament. Why ask me stupid questions? Alright, 10 minutes to go. That's not right, actually. It's only, let's see, no, it's correct. 11 minutes, less than 11 minutes. Money is fun, dude. Money is not the main problem. It's just gross. 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 Alright. Not even gonna talk about it. Ekes, Stapfargan, Dracofire, Acerbate, Bone Atrophy, Shocky, and Anonymous. How do you make yourself anonymous? That's like a setting, I suppose. I want to be anonymous. Money is fun. I like money as much as the next guy, but won't compromise my standards. Ugh. Ugh. It's just that Tuesdays, you know, it makes me think of that horrible place. There's all these other chess streamers. They're just like, dude, they're like robots. Look at the chess streamers. Ginger GM. Chess.com, Title Tuesday. Sorry. That's just not cool. Alright, 9 minutes. I was hoping to get Nepo winning the big one. The Nepomniachtchi. Nepomniachtchi sounds like a Pokemon character. What are we gonna do? My first tournament back from real chess. Is anyone actually gonna be here for this? 11 players. Acebate's on the second page. Look in the back of the phone book. You're in the back of the phone book, dude. 2 pages. Capablanca was that player who traded down to nothing? What are you talking about? Oh no. Stapfargan has 78 rated games. Alright. Enough said. We'll have to change the settings. I really wanted to kind of crack down on... the... Oh, dude, what's going on here? Why can't I, like, edit this? It's not letting me edit it? Oh, okay. Alright. Alright, Stapfargan, it's okay. Get some rated games. But we trust you. Alright, he has 78 rated games. It takes a while to accumulate, like, rapid games. Yeah. I just wanted to be on the safe side. But I knew this was going to happen. Like, somebody was like, I have 47 rapid games. Actually, I don't know how many rated games I have. Probably not that many. Hundreds. Theodoro, you have to join our team. Pawn Knight Horses Club. Where is it? Can I get a link? If you have an established rating and I deem you legitimate, can join. But I said last time I'm gonna crack down on like letting just anybody in to the team. Those of you who are just like random noobs with 99 games or 102 games, that's not enough. We have to be really, really watchful. I can always kick people out if they're like cheating or suspicious, but I set it to 50 rated games now. 100 was asking too much. I don't know, Troll in a Roll left a comment in the chat room. What a treat. What does that mean exactly? What a treat. Moderation. Timeout. 15 minutes. It's cool that I can moderate the chat now. Troll in a Roll was timed out for 15 minutes by a page mod. Not a lichess mod. I like this. I feel powerful now. Like an American police officer. I can abuse my power. Alright, 6 minutes and 30 seconds till tournament starts. Yeah, Astrobate, I don't feel right playing tournaments without my socks on. I feel naked, right? I was at the OTB tournament the other day, and this one player in the IM section was wearing like sandals. I don't feel right about playing barefoot in a chess tournament. I'm just kidding. I don't know what to talk about. Shall we talk about Title Tuesday? Latest acquisition of chess.com. They bought Magnus Carlsen. Ugh, just so gross. Whatever. Alright, no, seriously. We're not going to talk about stuff like that. Sparklehorse, Arms, World Loser, Akshek, Bone Atrophy, Shaki, Dragfire, Stapvark, Indonekus, Sumer, Astrobate, Palots, and Urek. Sandals, that's a new way to spell sandals. That's awesome, Astrobate. They taught you phonetics. Astrobate was like in the first phonetics class. World Loser 2291 with a rapid rating. He's more of the blitz player. He's got a higher rapid rating, but that's normal. Everybody should have higher rapid ratings. They're more inflated. I don't understand how these things work, but I always thought like the rapid ratings are harder to get because it takes more games, you know? I don't know much about how rating systems work. I hope everyone has fun and get great play today. Alright. Yeah, it's good to be back, everybody. Don't forget to gift a sub now. Be the first one to subscribe. Donate. Make chess great again. Alright, we are back after 10 days. I did stream Sunday. Simul, which was good. My level of play is always better when I play serious chess. Then I start falling off again. Alright, we're still fresh from the tournament, so I expect good condition of play level. A good condition of play level. I mean, I try to play longer games. We're trying to do rapid every week. I really want to move away from blitz and try to be serious. At least play quality chess to some degree. Need some livelihood in the chat now. There's no bad actors to keep the trouble going in the chat. What about World Loser? What about you, sir? Have you played any chess outside of the internet? Anything in Poland? Who else is here? Akshak 2253. That's a solid lichess rating. Bone Atrophy 2227. So see, we got 5 players over 2200. 6 players, Shaki. 6 players over 2200. Dracafire crushed me last time we played, 2199. Sappharian's oftentimes 2200. Indonekus just seems like he's gotten stronger lately. Sumeher can be a dangerous character. Once he starts calculating one day. Come on, guys. Donate your first gift sub. Alright, this is weird. I mean, I haven't been streaming since 2 weeks ago, except for Sunday. What's going on? 2 minutes to go. If chess is an art, chess is what it is. It is what it is, man. It's an art to some people. It's a science to other people. It's just a game to other people. I think what makes chess great is really that there's different ways to approach it. It's not really the same to anybody. And there's no right or wrong way to, I think, approach the game of chess necessarily. Which is what makes it fun and interesting. The chess puzzles are not a competition. Disclaimer. I don't think it matters. Because people cheat in lichess puzzles. So. I like the disclaimers, though. Hey, what's up? Stapvargan, first round. That's an easy game. I've got 2100 to warm up with. I haven't played today. Approaching chess from a totally fresh perspective tonight. Maybe Stapvargan's not even here. It says he's green, though. You know, it took me like 2 years to realize what that green circle was. Oh, I thought it was just a cool green circle on the board. Next to our names. The cool green circle. Alright, let me guess. Oh man, there was a cool game I saw, Chigorin game, yesterday. We can try that. There is no time for real OTB chess. Damn. There isn't much time. World loser. For me either. Oh, let's see. Right, D5. I want to see what Stapvargan does. You gotta wait 15 minutes again. What? So this is... It's Tarash versus Chigorin. Oh, okay. You mean wait 15 minutes. Who is this guy? Who's not here? Be careful, because sometimes they show up, you know, when you're not expecting it. Tarash Chigorin. Knight C6. Has a good score. I wonder if that's in my first chess books. One of my first chess books, The Stonewall Attack by Andrew Soltis. I wonder if he discussed this. There was so much white space in that book. I remember that. I wonder if I still have it. Something happened to it, like a dog chewed it up or something. I mean, I remember the weirdest things, right? Maybe one of my dogs chewed it up. The cover was like chewed up. But it couldn't happen to a nicer chess book. Who's not here? Let's shame them publicly. That is the move that Tarash played as well in the aforementioned Hastings 1895. Aforementioned. It's the same move. Going after that white square bishop. Klaus Bischoff. What does Bischoff mean in German? I was wondering this the other day. Is there... It's not Ahms didn't show up. No, Shaki's... Did Arms not show up? Who all is not here yet? Polutz? Polutz sometimes doesn't show up. She's a she. Same guy as before. Or not. Alright. Yeah, people will not show up sometimes for the first round. What can we do? Not the end of the world, man. It's 15 minutes. Can you play extracurricular games while you're in the tournament? I guess not. How does it work? Can you play like another game? Can you play like a bullet game? I never tried. Could I play like a bullet game while I'm playing in this tournament, while I'm waiting? Yeah, just don't accidentally turn the engine on or something, right? Then you're flagged for cheating. Well, you don't want to do that while you're playing anyway, but like what happens if you play like a bullet game, finish, and then like click the analysis engine after the game, and then realize, oh shit, I'm playing another tournament. Okay, so this is the exact position. If the bishop moves somewhere, the white bishop moves somewhere, I have bishop f5, and then white would be forced to do something awkward, like knight a3. So this is exactly what happened in the game from 1895. Now, I looked in the database, and there's a bunch of games, maybe like 10 games where this position has arisen in OTB chess, maybe more, 10 to 15. But it's interesting. Okay, not that many people play the Stonewall attack, but we're talking about 100 years, more than 100 years, 120. This game was played this position was played 120 years ago, 125 years ago, 127 years ago, on a high level. And in the interim, it's only been played like 10 to 15 times. I think this is a neat move, e6. Not the first thing you think of. You know, you're like, well, I should get my bad bishop outside the pawn chain. So the vast majority of players here played bishop f5. There's like 7, 8 games with bishop f5. But I'm like, you know what? Chigorin knows what he's doing. I think e6 is decent. I think Chigorin knew something about chess. So white's missing their light squared bishop. But it will matter in the long run, hopefully. Hopefully. It did matter in Paris Chigorin. So Stafford could play knight c3, you know, and I think that's kind of a natural move. More natural than Tarash's move, which was knight on bd2. But neither of those is the number one suggestion of the engine, which is more of a positional move that shall remain nameless for next time. Well, let Safargan do his homework and find out what like White's best move there theoretically is supposed to be, according to the engine anyway. So now I'm on my own. What do I do? For all I know, like, Stafargan's actually reached this position before. It's conceivable. The c5 is definitely legit. Seems like a natural move. Thing is, I don't want to get, like, rolled off the board. Not sure this is the best move. ATM, but it's an interesting position. A lot of people are like, oh, you're undoubling his pawns, dude. You know, I mean, there is that element to it, right? I mean, maybe c5 looks like, well, that's the stupid thing to do. You're undoubling his double pawns. His double pawns are good, actually. These are good double pawns. They're controlling central squares. Anyway, guys, I'm just lecturing because I don't know what else to talk about. Get out there and donate some bits to the cause. Queen e2. Bits to the cause. Causeway. Cause to the bits. Boom. Playing the French defense. Does look like a French defense. Now what do I do? Ambulance. I mean, the main thing in the Stonewall attack is that, like, light square bishop is stationed on d3 and it's bearing down on h7 with the Greek gift sacrifices all the time. He can't do stuff like that here. So, you know, if he ever tries to, like, push his pawns forward, it falls apart like a house of cards. His light squares in particular will be, like, very, very loose. So it's not that easy for white to do anything. Rook d1, for example, you know, this is, like, kind of a defensive move. Many thanks. Now what? Right. Good question. Well, I think that it's safe to say, you know, Staffhagen has not done worse than Tarash after 10 moves. Tarash's position was probably worse. I was never a fan of Tarash, to be honest. I'm sure that he had some great games. He's a very important player, historically. Wow, baby, look at that. I'm here to bump you up. E4. That's why he played Rook D1. That's why he played Rook D1. He wants to make this Rook great again. So now, yeah, his center looks shaky, but I've got C takes D, don't I? It's nothing there. C takes D. Knight takes D, bishop c5, pinning and winning. CD, knight D, bishop c5, bishop e3, queen b6. So take, bishop c5, bishop e3. Wow. Actually, I have another move there. No, I don't. I take it back. Can't take it back. There are interesting stuff. There are interesting stuff going on. So knight takes d4, bishop c5. Yeah, I have another move. Knight g4, dropping a knight. After knight takes d4, like bishop c5, knight g4 drops a knight. So that's not a good move. Wow. Oh man. He could actually have some problems here. Bishop d7 covers knight a4, so we have cd, knight d4, bishop c5, bishop e3, queen b6. If the knight moves anywhere, like knight c2, freaking forking his pieces with d4. How convenient is that? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know, like, much about Tarash. One of the players I know the least about. But, the most famous double bishop sacrifice was, of course, Lasker's. I guess that depends on which side you're on. Like, what is White's move now? Isn't White, like, just, like, losing by force here? What's better than winning a piece, Shaki? I don't understand. I mean... Alright. I'll take it any day, dude. It's never boring. Winning a piece is never boring. It never gets old for me. You know? This just never gets old, dude. What can I say? I don't know, it's boring for him. I don't know why he doesn't like winning pieces. Alright. But maybe he's talking about his game. I don't know. Should do multi-board. We can't see multi-board. If I hover over sloth, rapid re-returns, I should be able to like see the other boards while I'm playing. Wouldn't that be a cool feature? I mean, it happens like during simul. I mean, I win a game in like 2022 because of a game that I studied from 1895. I think that's pretty freaking cool. Right? Now, which way do you want to win a piece? D4. You see, it doesn't work. I don't win a piece here. Wow. I don't believe it. Wow, he has a defense. Darn. Shut up, dog. Boom, he has a defense. Knight c4, b4. That dog is annoying. The only defense, and it works. Damn. So what I missed was the other thing, which was d4, bishop takes e3, knight takes e3, d4, bishop takes e3, knight takes d4, knight c4. I am not winning a piece now. So now we have to really start thinking about what the best thing to do here is. Black's better, but better is a long way from winning. I assume bishop takes e3, knight e3. I can take on b2. It's probably bad. There's also the possibility of taking on e4, but I don't think that really does anything necessarily. There is an interesting idea of knight g4 at some point. Like, for example, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes e3. There he could probably take with the queen. I can always take on b2. That gets very complicated. I guess the simplest is bishop takes e3, knight g4. Bishop e3, knight e3. I don't want to end up in like a bad French. That's the one thing that can happen that wouldn't be good. I have a bad bishop in a French. Alright. So d4, b4, let's look at that. d4, b4 takes. Maybe that's my best choice. I don't know. It's just very weird though. d4, b4, d takes c. Sorry, d takes e, b takes c, queen takes c5. Attacking the loose knight on c3. Where does the loose knight go? It's a good question. What does the cow say? Well, I don't know. It's just like, it went from I thought I was winning to it's unclear. Winning is better than unclear. I still think I'm better. Why do I feel like I'm better here? I'm temporarily winning a pawn. His knights look funny on the c-file. His knight on c3 doesn't have any good squares to go to. He has a serious problem. I mean, like, b4 only move. You know what just occurred to me? I have bishop c5 at the end also, which probably doesn't work. Bishop takes b4, bishop takes d4. Bishop takes b4, bishop takes d4, bishop c5. Some other crazy variations too. Sack my queen for 2 pieces. Bishop takes b4, bishop takes d4, bishop c5. Almost wins, but he can defend with queen e3. Can he? Queen e3. Holding on. It's just barely holding for white. So I was thinking of taking on e3. Is it worth it? Damn time situation. So I thought here, you know, we've got this lineup on the C file. There's also a weird move, knight g4, that's conceivable. Because I have this pawn dripping down. There's also the idea of bishop a4. There's this, this, sometimes, and this. Can white, you know, and there's also the fact that I have now queenside majority, so even if he wins my pawn on e3, there's the b pawn. I don't know, Astrobate, you better ask. Speaking of Tau. Whoa. Okay, here's a weird move. Not what I expected. We're just better, but I don't see any other options. We got better structure. What about bishop a4 again? Does it possibly win material? No, probably not. Rook dc1. Bishop a4, rook dc1. Although, yeah, it probably does win material. I don't know if I want to win 2 rooks for the queen here. Now I have a serious strategic advantage. Queenside majority, bishop versus knight. Better pawn structure. I don't feel like he had to do that, you know, like he didn't have to play e5. This was a move, ironically, that Chigorin played in 1895 in a very different position. I'm trying to remember if Tarash had put his rook on d1. Rook fc8. The thing that like ended Tarash in that game was the light square bishop, like did him in on the diagonal. But this diagonal, it was bishop versus knight, same thing. The light square bishop. Yeah, if you want to be good, you focus on in-games. No shit. To be honest, if you're talking to me, I don't really care about online chess, but over the board chess. Most online games are won down 18 points of material with a forced checkmate. Or just flagged, you know? Down 18 points of material. Flagging someone with like bishop versus 10 pieces. That's online chess. I thought Finnish people were supposed to be happy, Shaki. You seem to be bittered. You're too angry to be Finnish. Alright. Are you finished? That's what people say all the time. Are you finished? I'm not finished. Rook f8. Statistically happy. I thought I read somewhere that Finnish people are the happiest people in the world. There was some study on that. Alright. Now, not based on emotions but statistics. I guess we have to get to the psychological root of what happiness is. You know, that's the problem. If you're going to define something like, oh, they're the happiest people in the world. Well, wait a minute. Like, don't we have to define what happy means, like, in the first place? Happy's like acerbate. You know, he just walks around with a smile on his face all the time, even though he's, like, destitute. He has nowhere to live. Someone just killed his puppy. He's still smiling and happy. I don't think Hungarians are happy. I don't think my opponent's happy. But he walked into the game of the week, man. It's actually not really a famous game, you know. This game I'm talking about. So Queen B2 doesn't win material? Or does it? I'll eat my hat if there's not a forced win here for black. I mean, puzzle emote bot would say like, oh, black wins a pawn. Queen B2. Queen B2, move the knight somewhere. Hold on a second here. Right, Queen B2, the problem is knight E3. He's got the in-between move with the check on C8, so I can't actually like win material there. Give up the ego. Oh man, I don't know. We're talking about complex psychological concepts now. There's no way that white is okay here. Rook C3. I mean, I'm content to just like take the second pawn and win this. I probably have better. I could have just like played Rook C3 and build up on the pin. But I mean, my general rule is that 2 pawns up in an ending is winning, and you know, we don't have to stress. 1 pawn is not the same, but 2 pawns up, clear 2 pawns up. Clear 2 pawns up plus a better structure. I would not be confident here if I was only 1 pawn up. 2 should always be a win in most cases. Plus I'm covering C7. You know, maybe objectively speaking of covering the 7th, rook ending makes me a little nervous. Although it should be winning. But it's a long conversion, like 4 against 2 on the king side. Queen c7, he doesn't want to do that. I don't blame him for not wanting to do that. I mean, who wants to trade queens when they're like down 2 pawns? I mean, he's not actually threatening anything here. Just being rich makes you happy. Money is drugs. Drugs is money. I love it when the stream gets like philosophical. How about like open files? Does open files make you happy? I wouldn't have gone in the ending if I wasn't up 2 pawns. There was a study you concluded you become happier until you have 200k, and after that it doesn't matter anymore. Man, it's not working for me. $200k real estate portfolios. That was before inflation. Adjusting for inflation, it's like $500,000 now. Shaki. With the energy crisis. We have to adjust for inflation. I don't think 200k is enough. And I just like don't like him coming to e8. Alright, screw it. Whatever. I don't mind. Trading whatever, rooks, fine, queens, whatever. I'll trade any pieces here. Trade them up. Trade them down. Kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down. Alright. Boom. My first ever Eagles reference on the stream. So what are we going to do? Pin him to that pawn. Take it down. Take it down. I like spending money and having stuff. Does that make sense? Oh shoot. That's a good move. We got him. 3 pawns up. I could have taken on a2, but he has queen c7. Now we're gonna grind him. Save your energy for the next round, man. That always makes me crazy in like Swiss tournaments when there be the classic sort of 2 games a day. Swiss system tournaments, and some dude would like drag it out. I'd be like, man, why are you doing this to us? You're like hurting us both by like making us play like 6-hour game when we both are going to be like exhausted for the next round. Why don't you just resign and you know, do us both a favor? It doesn't matter though, because like actually in this case, Staffbergen and I are probably gonna have to play immediately after the game. We would actually probably do better to just like keep making moves and relax for a while. Alright, Astrobate is in first place, of course. Wow. Imagine saving up all your money and then dying when you're 7 years old. Imagine. That's the Egyptian system of time management, man. Imagine not using any time during the game and then losing anyway, you know? You can't take it with you to the next game. So what's the sense in not using your time? Astrobate is the leader with a win. He's got the highest performance rating in the tournament, it looks like. Astrobate like 2600. You should make a new account, man. Astrobate 2600. Sparkle Horse, Oms, World Loser, Aksha, Shaki. Dude, this is what most people do. They save up all their money and die at 70 years old. That's right. But on the other hand, like, you don't want to be like 65 and like destitute, you know, and spend like the last 5 years of your life, you know, living in the gutter because you have no money. It's not that simple. But you know, nobody wants to be like starving for the last 5 years of their life or something. But yeah, I agree. You know, and the thing applies to the way people manage their time in chess games. A lot of people go through life just caring about money. I mean, I don't care. I care, but I don't obsess about it. I'm streaming on lichess. I could stream on a different site and have a lot more viewers and make more money, but I don't, you know, because happiness is more important to me than... integrity is more important to me than making money, you know. At the end of the day, I'm not like those other people, you know. Just made you a sponsorship offer. Did you ever retire from teaching? Yeah. I mean, I actually enjoy teaching chess, but it wasn't my, like, you know, first love. I mean, I started playing chess because I like playing chess, you know. It became necessary to teach chess. Over time, I enjoy it, but it's not, you know, I would rather just, like, be a professional chess player who plays chess. Integrity equals happiness. That's an interesting theory, Astrobate. I don't think that's how it works. Alright. Chaos governs the universe, bro. The universe is governed by chaos. Alright, we've got the Rossalimo. Chess.com. We don't talk about that here. Gross. That's the second reference to cheese.com today. Title Tuesday. I'm proud to have never participated in a Title Tuesday tournament. It's like absurd. An online titled tournament. Sure. Women National Master. There's like titles that don't even exist that are valid for that tournament. Women's National Master, it doesn't exist. It's not a tournament. It's not a title. That's just not even a title. It's just made up, man. Nothing against women. It's just that particular title doesn't exist. You know, it's not a thing. There is no such thing as Women National Master. It's just weird. All right. Bishop g7. So what are we doing here? Just for example. I think online chess has to just be for fun. Sadly. What is this position? He played knight d4. I guess I should have played c3, huh? That's an interesting move, that knight d4 move. I feel like that was an error on my part to allow that ever at all under any circumstances. But I guess I'm still better here. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just not sure. Maybe I'm not sure. Dude, that's very, very materialistic. The world of materialistic chess. There's more important things. We're talking about money, and Akshak is like going for the material, right? Honestly, I love eating and drinking. I'm a sinner. But I'm not a materialistic sinner. Alright. This is like good for white, this position, for sure. How good? But how good? How goes it? We always have compensation. It's like whatever. Smith. It's a good Smith Mora. Ugh. I don't even like talking about that. It makes me think of Mark Esterman. No preaching in the chat. Private preaching only. Alright. Yeah, this is what I figured. I mean, white's just better. I mean, b5, yeah, it's not good for black. Philosophical. The hand of God. Okay, so black's having trouble getting out and about, out of the box. Path to happiness is through a man's stomach. Sun Tzu. Knight a4, b5, knight b6. No. Okay, my bishop on c4 is just kind of getting in the way at this stage. We have compensazione. But our opponent is like the antithesis of everything that I stand for in chess. You're doing exactly what I try to teach people not to do, which is play specifically only for time. He probably just doesn't know any better, you know? This is the only thing he knows to do. He does what he does. It's a really good Mora for white. Combating anti-science. Interesting. Well, there's a good move. b5. Uh-oh. That's not allowed. b5 is totally uncool. White has used 5 minutes, black has used no time at all. That's pretty disturbing. Toll. The game tolls. Toll House cookies. Someone talk about Rook D2? Wow. Suddenly black is okay here. I am not happy about this. Wow. God, Rook D6? Rook D6. Oof. Thank God you're here, Uber driver. Rescue us from this insanity. It feels like World Loser's talking about my game. He's like Rook D2. I don't know, what is my opponent exactly trying to do? Like, play the fastest game ever anyone has played against me? It's to show off? Like, what's the point? To use no time at all. I don't know, Uber driver, but I'm down a pawn, bro. So it's not so simple about the dark squares. I don't normally play the Mora Gambit, but it is what it is. He has pawn up, and I have some compensation for it. You should send Astrobate your Tal story, Uber driver. He would appreciate it. Of course, I've heard that all before. But I appreciate you sharing your version of events from the Tal Simul in Boston in the late 90s or late 80s, whatever it was. What was that, 1988, Uber driver? Your story? No, I didn't know about that, but your story, like, I didn't quite understand, like, how he cut his face. Like, he was shaving? Is that the implication? You were like, he was drunk and he cut his face. I mean, or maybe nobody knew, right? Bathroom mirror. I didn't understand that. Okay. Who, like, cuts their face on a bathroom mirror? I don't understand. Like the bathroom mirror, like, jumped down and cut his face? It didn't make sense to me. I don't understand. Generally speaking, like, bathroom mirrors are like a flat glass surface on the wall of the bathroom. They don't, like, jump out and cut you. I didn't understand what that means, you know? What does it mean? Tal cut his face on the bathroom mirror. Must have been a really classy establishment. It was like a flop house or something. was like Murray Turnbull's rooming house or something, where they put him up. I don't know. Akshak must be like a little kid. 'Cause he only plays, you know, like super fast. I guess I have to play e5 here to really. Oh, maybe there. No, well, I mean, there is possibility of knight b4, but bishop takes. Wait, maybe knight b4 is good. Knight b4, bishop takes e4, rook takes d7. Knight b4, pawn takes e4, knight takes c6. I'm not crazy about knight b4, pawn takes e4, knight takes c6, knight takes c6, rook takes e4. Kind of looks like black's okay there. If I play e5 though, he can stick a piece on d5. Alright, well, I think we should probably just deal with it. g5. g5 is a bit slow. It also would involve sacrificing material. g5, knight b4. I think he probably should have done it. Now we can sack the exchange. I think I can probably hold a draw here. Rook d4. I don't know, man. I mean, black's ridiculously strong. For their speed and rating. h4. What's up with rook b7? Wow. I might have compensation for the pawn, but I'm definitely not better here. Black played the whole game in like 2 minutes. 2100 bullet. 2200 blitz, 2253. And then this weird classical rating that doesn't make any sense. It must be like the little brother or their dad is playing classical. Black has g5 here. I think it's still a draw though. Objectively, this is a draw. I mean, you can try to beat me, but it should be a draw. Well, I don't think that makes a big difference, Uber driver. But it was basically like perfect game by black. He made one mistake apparently. Okay. Wow, I was winning? Wow, perfect game. Oh no, I had 95, the Alex Scherzer trick. Perfect game, I was winning. Oh my god. I had 95. Makes sense. He made a lot of mistakes, actually. I actually made less mistakes. Despite having a higher, well, bigger mistakes, but less of them. Higher cent upon loss, 42. You play too fast, it's disturbing, you know? It bothers me when people play that fast. I like how I play Poker Baddies using the Art Vega. We haven't seen Art Vega in a while. Is he okay? Seriously, like, with all the floods, does anybody know about Art Vega? Like, 1/3 of Pakistan is underwater. I hope he's not flooded out, man. Snedsteg. Joining the team. Alright. You're allowed. But I don't think that Ali Reza and Snedsteg are the same person. Though they could be. Like, literally a third of the country is, like, flooded. That's where all the water that we're supposed to have in Europe is, I guess. Man, I miss 95. I'm just... I like his move 94, but after that... Yeah, he's supposed to take with the C-pawn. Yeah, this is very greedy. Now Ali Reza GM. Bullet games don't matter. 2136 Blitz, alright. 2200, lots of games. Good, good. You're accepted into the team. Hey, what's up, Dr. Chipchance? We're good. Iran is represented. Alright, anyway, like, that game was awful. My opponent plays too fast. I made a lot of mistakes. We'll just pretend it didn't happen. Walked. Gotta walk. World Losers 2-0. No, I mean, I was slightly worse at the end, so I offer a draw. It's a draw. I mean, it is a draw. Like, a Grandmaster would have tried to beat me, but I mean, I should hold. I don't like to offer draws in, like, lost positions. I mean, normally, unless there's some extenuating circumstances, like my opponent is about to lose on time. But if I'm very slightly worse, I think it's reasonable to offer draw if my opponent's lower rated. Okay, World Loser 2, Akshak. We get to, like, see some other games. Alms is playing. He kind of bum rushed me there with the super fast play in the opening. That makes me uncomfortable. Shaki with white. Shaki playing very, very solid style here. I mean, Alms is extremely solid stylistically. But I think that, like, Shaki is far less predictable. What was the opening here? Oh, you played this against me the other day. So the bishop e2. Okay, so that's a weird continuation. Shaki, like, traded his knight on d5. I mean, you're supposed to play ed, knight takes d, and what now? How is white supposed to play this again? You're supposed to play ed, knight takes d5, castles, right? I don't understand what the big point is, though, with bishop e2. There's other moves like a3. Have you looked at a3 for white? Maybe a3 is more constructive than bishop e2. I don't know. I think there was a game where like Caruana played black in the Olympiad. His opponent was a Scottish player, Andrew Gree. And Caruana, like, I think he did play d5. But Greek got a pretty good... I thought he got a reasonable opening against Caruana, ended up losing. But I thought the opening was actually kind of an unpleasant choice. That bishop e2. But I don't really understand what white's point is. No, white's a solid. Oh, I didn't know that, Uber driver. Queen h5. So now Am's traded on e4. That seems like a strange thing to do. That really seems like a strange move for black to trade on e4. But I guess he didn't feel like he had a choice or something. I mean, bishop f7 is definitely possible. So he's simplifying. But I mean, you know, white's fine here. I thought honestly like Am's might be slightly better, but maybe not. Maybe he was never really better. Just has the bishop pair. But the darks for bishop is, you know, it's extremely crappy. Not a great piece. The same position as a Scotch with queen h4. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. So what's the point of bishop e2, Uber driver? What does that do? It blocks the queen. I don't get, what's the trick with bishop e2? I mean, theoretically, I don't like the fact that black has so many pawns, you know, placed onto dark squares with the dark square bishop here. But maybe he's okay. The knight on g3 isn't great either. But that knight, you know, that knight can move. It seems that you want to at least preserve the idea of bishop e5. I'm not remembering the point now with bishop e2. Is it something to do with playing like d4 in one move? Do you move the bishop again? I mean, I know like g3. It's funny that I won my only game ever in the four nights last week. I've literally never had another tournament game where I played the black. Well, actually the black side of the four nights. I have one game with the white pieces on the white side of a four nights in my life in a tournament. That was a draw. And now I have one game on the black side of the four nights in my life. And I won against the GM. I mean, four nights it's pretty... I mean, honestly, like, Shaki was moaning about the Stonewall, man, but the four nights, it's not exactly the most exciting opening either, man. It's not a barn burner. I was expecting Horvath Adam to play a very, 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 very boring variation of the Petrov, but he smelled a rat and decided to play the four knights, and I actually was prepared for that. You know, I thought he might. He's played it before. But I'm never happy on the black side of that. I mean, the four knights is really gross. I used to play like bishop b4 on move 3, and I thought about it. It's like, there's no way I am playing that line against like a technical grandmaster. when you play the Petrov, they try to play the 4 knights, and you play like bishop b4 on move 3. Black has 0 winning chances, and like a 20% chance to lose. It's just hopeless. I mean, it's a very bad idea for black. Yeah, there was another game earlier in the tournament where this guy played, another player played the 4 knights, and his opponent played like 4 bishop d6. But I feel like that's long lost its surprise value. You know, that's probably not great. Just probably not a great move for black. And it doesn't really have any surprise value it might have once had. When Hare Krishna played it like 15 years ago or something, I mean, maybe. Now everyone knows everything. I was really concerned that my opponent would have played like knight takes e5, because I don't know the variation too well. He thought forever and didn't play knight takes e5, which is like the sharpest move, I guess. It was weird. I honestly I don't know. He's a weird player. He's like very well prepared on the white side of the Sicilian. Plays like extremely sharp, complex lines of the open Sicilian, but then turns around and plays like the Joko and the 4 knights with white. Like, that's weird, you know? It was like Kudrin. He used to play like boring Jokos against e4, e5, but with like white against the Sicilian, he was like a monster theoretically. It's weird, you know? Like, why people are so solid against e4, e5, but then they're like psycho-aggressive and sharp when they play the white side of the Sicilian. Like you were talking about Tal. You just don't play the Sicilian against Tal, you know? Why do you play like a completely different style based on what your opponent plays? I mean, that's weird, right? Why would Ahmes do this? He does what he does, man. Ahmes doesn't change, you know, for his opponent. He just plays his stuff. Actually, I wasn't sure about c4, but it's certainly not a bad move. I thought maybe white shouldn't do that. White's like playing for draw first, win later, you know. Shaki's making sure he doesn't lose before thinking about trying to win. Ahmes for the poor. We have a name in Hungarian, Almos. Does that exist in German and other countries? I wonder what Almos is. It's not an equivalency of another name. When you were laughing the other day when I called Jan Gustafsson John. I mean, I live in Hungary where like all the names are like, you know, they have like their equivalencies. János is John. I mean, Jan is John. It's just like, it's all the same name, right? Call it what you want to call it. János. Papa János. Johann Bach is John Brooke. Oh my god, did you know John Brooke? That was a weird guy. He was a chess player from the UK. Once he like came to stay with me and I couldn't get rid of him. No, he was Brooks. John Brooke? No, Brooke. Brooke. Yeah, Brookie. So Bach means brook. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. See, that's what you get for not knowing any German. Yeah, he was this weird chess player. He was like a funny person, kind of. entertaining but hard to get rid of. It's like the friend that came over that never left. I had the same problem with Eric Kishlik. Once he like came to my house and it was hard to get him to leave. When you're like a little kid and your friend comes over to your house to play and their parents like hate him, so he doesn't want to go home because the parents are like abusive or mean to him or whatever, you know, he never wants to leave. I remember that happened when I was like 7 years old with the neighbor from across the street. He would like come over and he would never want to go home. My parents were like, what's the deal with him? How are we going to get rid of him? It's sad, though. Yeah, man, this game could take years. Can we just adjudicate it a draw like a Michael Rhodes simul? Ams has more time and a higher rating. Compensates for his slightly worse position. Yeah, never feed the kid from across the street. I just remember his sister, like, spilled orange soda on our rug. And we could never get out of the rug. It was still there, like, 20 years later. Funny, the things you remember. Of course, only white can win this. Except if you're Magnus Carlsen. And, you know, you flag with, like, knight against, you know. We can flag black. And we can flag white, I mean. Win or like, theoretically win. Yeah, you're right, actually. You guys are right. Ams has to be a little bit careful. I shouldn't just be dismissive. It's not that simple. The problem is that Shaki's so far behind on time. Yeah, maybe it's not so simple. You know, it's possible. White has serious winning chances. Black couldn't keep him off of f5. I mean, you want to play like Black didn't want to allow the white king in there, but king e6 allows knight c7 check, knight b5. But I'm wondering about that. When we go here, I mean, we're threatening king f5. Can't black play king e6? Is that a problem? I think it's okay, right? Like, can't Ams play king e6 here? What's the problem with king e6? Pal Benko's on the phone, but he's dead. He's talking to the afterlife. Now black's in trouble. Letting the king into f5 probably wasn't 100% necessary. But still, the time situation is not easy to deal with. Uber driver. World loser would be in heaven now. Now we're threatening knight b5 check, winning a pawn. And so it looks like a6 is forced. So a6, knight b5, knight d5, and you're losing material. What if the black bishop wasn't on c1? What if the black bishop was on a useful square? You say that it's useless, but it's not 100% true, world loser. A bishop's not useless. I mean, if it was on d4, for example, it could at least protect the e5 pawn. And then in this case, you know, we could have played like king c6 and maybe had a chance to hang on. It's definitely useless on c1. I mean, he's trying to control, I guess, this diagonal. But I mean, it seems like it has some value. World loser is slightly exaggerating by calling it useless. It's bad, you know, it's not great, but he should have kept the e5 pawn protected in the first place. Definitely. Yeah, I have no idea if this is a win. Probably. This is probably a win now for white, although I'm still not 100% sure. I mean, it's easy to see how white can attempt to make progress. Not certain, though. He plays b6, and then wins the e5 pawn in exchange for the b6 pawn. But then, you know, black's king could walk up and attack the b3 pawn, so it's not so simple. There's not a lot of pawns left. And obviously black can sacrifice for the last pawn. Now white's actually shifting, coming back over here. This is very likely a good idea. It feels like Shaki sort of played dead in this game. Increment is tricky. You got the impression like Shaki was playing for a draw, and then all of a sudden he wasn't, you know? He's like, oh, by the way, I'm not playing for a draw. What about c4? Did black have c4 there? It's probably lost now. Still, not automatic. I like the bishop on d4 though. Has some value there. The rope-a-dope. Uh-oh. Man, that's annoying. Oof. Now he has to play c4 at some point. Wow. Yeah, so it's interesting to see like where black lost this game. If you go to computer analysis, I'm probably not going to be able to do that. But maybe we can at least see where it went over the edge. I don't think the ending is losing. Like, you can see here, around move 38. This is a hold. It wasn't lost until white's king gets to f5. And actually the bishop on d8 is sort of okay, you know. Bishop's bad, but not useless. In fact, black should hold this. Because all the pawns are, you know, on the same side. The knight is better than the bishop, but I still think that pretty much on the same side anyway. Same area. No, I still think it's a draw. Probably. Shaki played 5 inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders. Very solid. He was worse out of the opening, but came back. Alright. Two leaders will play each other. Obviously, they haven't already. I'll play bone atrophy. We have 4 players in the same point group, but I don't know. The thing does weird pairings. Speaking of Brook, my dad, that's my dad's generation. Donnybrook. A Donnybrook is like a big fight. You know, they had a big Donnybrook. That's interesting, move 11. My dad was born in 1925, and he used that word pretty often. So it's a generational thing. Probably Yasser, you know, had been influenced by someone, you know, the same age as my dad. Maybe he had a parent, I don't know. What's the deal with Yasser's parents were not American, were they? But anyway, at some point he picked that up from someone from my dad's generation, or even older. Yeah, most people wouldn't even know like what a Donnybrook is. I only know because my dad would have been almost 100 years old now. I mean, basically, my father was older than my friends' generations, parents, and so I picked up a lot of like expressions that you wouldn't necessarily get Donnybrook is classic. I haven't heard that in a long time. I'm playing Acerbate. He says Michael Tal. Yeah, that's weird. I guess he didn't call him Misha. I wonder, Yasser must have played with Tal. That would be an interesting stylistic match. But, you know, Tal wasn't a one-dimensional player. He's legendary for his tactics, but he was also capable of playing a boring draw like anybody else. Or just playing a, you know, straight up kind of typical positional grind. Tal could play a game that was like Petrosian played it. You wouldn't even know the difference one day, you know, and the next day he might go completely like Postal. Maybe it depended on his mood, I don't know, you know. But if you look in his games, I mean, you see a lot of cases where he didn't do anything crazy, you know. It wasn't like a compulsion to play like a wild maniac, you know. He just sometimes got a little more creative than others. So we're an Acerbate theory variation. I mean, by the 80s, Tal was obviously declining slightly when Yasser was reaching his peak. Peaking, as they say. Wow, Bishop D3. Acerbate's been studying or something. What is that? Wow. We've got Chigoran influence here. So knight b4. Interesting, Acerbate. So I can play knight c5. I can always play f5. There's also the really weird knight d4. I don't know, man. That's a cool novelty. There's also bishop c5, doesn't seem to work. Queen h4 check. I'm gonna just do it like this. Can we have a moment of silence? I want to have a moment of silence for my tactical vision and Acerbate's e-pawn. I was like, oh, bishop d3, yeah, that's an interesting move. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm looking at knight b4. I'm looking at knight to d4, and I can't see, like, I have knight takes e5. Moment of silence for the e5 pawn. Dude, that's embarrassing that I didn't immediately realize that he's just like hanging his central pawn. But also goes to show that I'm not materialistic. B, I'm not dogmatic. I like to assess the position from objective standpoint, and I don't make snap judgments. But there was the other day when I hung a piece, I hung the exchange or hung a rook against Excel Poker. It's my second oversight. But I saw it before he made his move. There may be a chance. A chance. What chance? You like queen e3? That's not a chance. Whew, I thought it was check for a second there. That was a close one. That was a close one. I thought he had a check on h5. Uber driver, are you playing? Crap. We're just gonna keep it simple. How did I get paired with Asterbate? I have a point and a half. And he wasn't even in the same point group. We need more players. Uber driver, what are you doing? Investing in the stock market? Your computer work. Your Uber driver computer work? Your moonlighting? Investment moonlighting? Knight c5 is kind of greedy. I'm not going to do that. That pawn's not going anywhere. I don't know what came over Asterbate. Why did he play like he just forgot the normal move and played bishop d3 instead? Or he like made a conscious decision, I'm gonna invent something new today? It's kind of weird. Uh-oh, watch out for like knight b5. Seriously. Bishop to e7, knight b5. How do I defend my... That must have been the chance that Uber driver saw. Bishop e6, knight b5. Rook c8, knight takes a7. Black takes the initiative. You forgot. Queen e7. This is not really a great move either. We'll do it. Just because it's Asterbating, trading queens. Safe bet. Sire. It is weird not having Mr. Coffee here, guys. Thanks everyone for joining me. Be the first to donate. Don't forget. I try to make a living from this, so don't forget to donate a gift sub, some odd bits here and there. If you enjoy the entertaining commentary. Somebody has the Cowboys. I thought that was pocket aces. Everything is Cowboys. Are Cowboys their pocket kings? I never used that, like... Wait. Cowboys is pocket kings. Okay. Alright, knight e2. Never used the pocket kings reference. Alright. Knight e2. I never heard anybody say Cowboys for the bishop pair in chess, honestly, Uber driver. Where did you like pick that up? I mean, is that like a Texas thing? You certainly didn't learn that in Boston. The Boston Cowboys. Did you ever play Dan Harrington? Speaking of poker. Did you know Dan Harrington? I mean, was that before your time? When was he like... When was he playing chess at the Boylston? 500 500 bits from the Uber driver. Ask me why the resign button? What are you going to learn by resigning? He was at 1983. I know he won the Boylston Championship, and I never met him. And I was wondering, we have that in common. Like, two poker players who won the Boylston Championship. His name was on the trophy. It's like a trivia question. Two fanatical poker players. What's up, Mr. Coffee? He's a little bit better than me. Hey guys, can't stay long. Hope the tournament is going well. Going well. I got paired. Harrington's system with white against Queen's Gambit was feared. I didn't know that. I have to ask Kelleher. They were apparently friends. I know like Bill Roberti also played, but he was more into backgammon. I never liked Roberti though. He seemed like kind of a weird guy. Kind of arrogant. Maybe it was just an impression of mine. Although he wasn't a chess master, was he? Roberti? Now it's common knowledge. Back then it wasn't. Alright. Shockey, World Loser, Bone Atrophy. All these guys are still playing. He was a master. Okay. National Master Bill Roberti. I don't know. Something about him I didn't like, but whatever. I don't like anybody. What is World Loser doing? Wow. Alright, we're not going to talk about this game. World Loser sometimes plays chess from another dimension. Alright, we're going to look at Bone Atrophy. Oof. Sicilian. Oh, he was U.S. Blitz champion. Interesting. I don't think he like faced Walter Brown in that tournament, but just saying. It's hard for a national master to be U.S. Blitz champion when there's like grandmasters around who are pretty freaking strong. Alright. It must have been a select field. A5, C3. I thought white would play A4. Are you looking this stuff up, Uber driver, like on Google? Or you really know that? Because it's not, it doesn't count if you're looking it up on Google. You knew it, then I looked it up. It's good to see Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee has to go. An impulse to do something irrational. You masturbate. So Akshak just plays ridiculously fast. You gotta really use your time, man. White is slightly better here, but black's probably fine. Actually, I don't know. I don't even know if white is objectively slightly better, but after C3, the knight on E5 is very strong. Maybe I was wrong to even say white would be slightly better. Yeah, objectively A4, B4. No, it's I'm not like even looking at the position. Black is up a pawn. White is not slightly better. White is slightly worse. White is down a pawn. I thought it was 4 against 4, but it's 5 against 4, so I take it all back. Plus black has a very strong knight on E5. But he has more time. He's dropped in exchange. Yikes. White gets a pawn now. No passed pawns. It could be a little tricky. This is a strong move, though. Pinning the white king down. Objectively, black is winning. Don't understand why Akshak plays so fast. Maybe it's past his bedtime. Alright, who else is playing? D-Next, we have 19 players. Sigaru. Stepvargan. Stonewall. This is weird though. Stepvargan doesn't have a bad bishop. Instead, his opponent has a bad bishop. It was kind of like my game. Except this bishop is suffering here. That is not the same. Not the same late score bishop we had against Stepvargan. Now Stepvargan has the knights. The Stonewall knights. I like this. Seems like white is active. (1970) speed chess champion. Dude, that's before I was born. Are you serious? When was John F. Kennedy assassinated? Who was president in 1970? Was Nixon president yet? You said the Four Knights is boring, so you played a gambit and made up for it. We'll have to check it out. 63? Jesus. I don't know anything. I can't believe Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. 63? I thought it was later. Wow. That's weird. My knowledge of like the 60s is very, very bad. Alright, let's go back and see if... Shockies. Oh, he played a gambit. That's how you got this position. You played a gambit against... Yeah, why is white's king on c3? Aha. That looks familiar. Let me see if I got a few games here. Sparkle Horse as white. Now let's see who my opponents are. Sparkle Horse versus Scared Knight. Sacred Knight. This account is closed. No relation to... Do you go for the bishop line on move 4 unsound? Suspicious. So I had a couple games of someone on sound. Someone named Scared Knight. So I called them Sacred Knight. Stuck nuts, yeah. And Uber Driver. Wait. No, it wasn't you, Uber Driver. Who played this? Merle? I don't understand. How do I not have any games against Merle Dixon here? Didn't I have like a million games? Something wrong here. You have 5 games with Uber, 5 draws? What? You're just too low rated? Wait, you played this? With who? With me? It's impossible. The games would be in here. Oh, there they are. There's 2. So it was you. But I think Merle Dixon played it too. Yeah, I can't believe it. That this opening is even like playable for black. But someone on sound convinced me. It's not that bad. No, I mean it does seem kind of playable. Merle never did this? Are you sure? Well, I love this. Queen d4 question mark? Okay, what's the problem though? Like maybe World Loser should just play like knight c3 or something. Is Queen d5 a move? World Loser's done that in other positions. This has never been played. Damn. World Loser did that in the normal Budapest Gambit. It looks like Queen d5 is better than Queen d4. Okay, I'm looking at my game, sorry. This has been played by Alterman. What kind of an idiot would play the Fajarowicz against Alterman? Like, seriously. Artur is... he's crazy. That was in 1996, before I met him. I would meet him, like, the following year. But, yeah. Played crazy openings sometimes. Queen d5 is probably not bad. Queen d4 has been played. Interesting. Meduna, the Czech Grandmaster, and Alexander Fier. Alright guys, let's go back to the tournament. Sloth Rapid re-return. Sloth's actually not here. Panda's taking his place today. Shaki's 3-0, Bone Atrophy with 2.5, I have 2.5, World Loser 2. One game still going. The Stapvargan, the battle, man. This is a good battle. Battle bot. White to move and win a pawn. Maybe not. Maybe not. Do you really want to take that pawn? I want to take it. I'm there. Black's knight is too strong. I guess he has other options. F5? That knight on d3 is killing us, though. Yeah, that's the diagonal that we alluded to earlier. Yeah, I know, everybody says a3. But, I mean, it's just... it was Reshevsky's prescription? Like, seriously? Who would play the Fajarowicz Gambit against Sammy Reshevsky? He's just too good. And he never blundered. So what are you going to do? Like, you think he's going to, like, blunder? Because you played a Gambit against him? He murdered Bisguyer in it? No surprise. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, Arthur always played kind of some dubious stuff. Was much more likely to play sort of dubious openings. We only played twice, and one of those games was very, very late. It was like in 2004 or something. I don't know. When was it? Maybe, yeah, 2005. It must have been like 2005. I played Bisguyer the second time, and I beat him. Sadly, I never met Reshevsky. I always talk about that Uber driver. When I was a kid, I wanted to take lessons with Reshevsky, but it was like too far to go to like New York City. I lived like 2.5 hours from New York City. I mean, it would have been ridiculous to go to New York City to like get chess lessons. It would have been crazy, you know. But I was always like tempted. I live very close to Philadelphia, so not like it was reasonable to go to get chess lessons in New York. Queen c6. Alright. Interesting game. White's a pawn ahead, control the open file. But the c-pawn is a liability, and black has some pressure here. So it looks like black is hanging tough. You would go to Budapest for lessons. Anyway, I have all my game scorers in my storage unit. All the old ones. And I don't know if I still have the game with Bizguyer or not. But I want to find it because it was a fun game, and it involved this really weird tactical theme that I don't think I've ever seen anywhere subsequently. He was higher rated than me when I played him the first time. He was still like 2380 USCF or something. And I think I probably knew you. I was probably 2250. It was around 1991, 1992. But that's late. This guy was old already. But I don't think he could hold a candle to Reshevsky as a chess player. He was a good player, but nothing like Reshevsky. Reshevsky was an absolute monster. World-class player. So g3, weakening the king side. It could be safer to play like rook f2, but then white has to contend with the back rank. I mean, maybe you could consider it. Playing rook f2 and doing like h3 instead of playing g3, so as not to like weaken the light square so much. That's my joke about the Dutch. When you play f5, your rook in games are always lost because your king is like cut off. Yeah, e4 is a move too, of course. I mean, it would allow e5, maybe. e4, e5, takes, rook takes, and the rook like comes across here. Potentially. That's the objection to playing e4. But yeah, I mean, it's less weakening than playing g3. g3 looks kind of risky. I would sooner play, like I said, I would sooner like not play g3. Because now, I mean, Stapvargan's going to have to contend with the fact that his king is kind of open, you know, all around, like, forever. That could be, like, you can't win an ending. Maybe you can't win the queen ending, where he's, like, a pawn up or something. And this isn't an easy position to win anyway, with one pawn ahead, but I would really, like, think about that pretty deeply before I decided on a move, like, in a tournament game, if I were white there. Now his king is really a little open. You know, it's funny how long these 15-5 games are. I think with the people like Akshak, World Loser, who play faster, if you're not used to playing this time control, yeah, I mean, you're like, oh man, this is like forever. think the 10-minute rapids are a little more like fan friendly. Even I like feel a bit antsy playing this 15-minute time control. I don't know what to do with all the time. I mean, I like to alternate. Maybe next time we'll just do 10 minutes, or we can do 6 rounds. 6 rounds of 10 minutes. But thanks again for Uber Driver. World User resubscribed. I didn't mention that. He resubscribed for 20 months. Play poker badly. Have you played any bad poker lately? You just wonder what sets an IM apart from a GM. I mean, I was... You know, I probably could have been a GM if I was more dedicated. Not playing poker, for example. If I never started playing poker and I had really applied myself, I think I could have made it. Of course, I never would have been like a super strong GM. I would have been a borderline. If I make it to Grandmaster, I'm like a borderline Grandmaster. There's really not a lot of difference between a borderline Grandmaster and an IM. I mean, there's a lot of players I think that are GMs that aren't better than me, but really it's just the title. I think the real question is what separates the guys who are like super Grandmasters, you know? That's a more interesting question. I don't think like Maurice Ashley or Jesse Cry or I don't know, whoever is like a better player than me. Or Feingold necessarily. Or these guys who are, you know, Feingold actually, I mean, Feingold, okay. You can measure people by their, like, max rating. I mean, Feingold probably got to, like, 25-50. He always jokes around, like, that he was, like, the 50-year-old GM or whatever, but, I mean, his max rating, FIDE, was probably, like, 25. I don't know. I'm guessing he's probably, like, 25-50. I mean, I played in the tournament, and like, you know, the average Hungarian Grandmaster probably has a peak rating of 25-50, let's say. Let's say for all, you know, for intensive purposes, the average Grandmaster in the world has a peak rating of 2550. Most people don't reach 2600. Most Grandmasters don't reach 2600. What sets them apart? The guys that are 2650 and above. And that's the real question. I think that's where you see a huge difference. Let's not say 2700, whatever, like 2650. I mean, I don't know. If I knew, I mean, maybe... I mean, Hans Niemann is playing like 200 games a day. You know, I mean, if I played 200 games a day, I would definitely get the GM title. I mean, a year. I would definitely get the GM title. But I don't think I could become 2600. You know? No matter how many games I played, I don't think I'm going to get to 2600. I'm just not that strong. I could get the GM title, probably get to like 25-50 max. You know, 100 points above my previous max would have been my max. Working brain. Yeah, not too much partying. You know, don't play poker instead of focusing on chess. Don't have a family. No distractions. Morozevich, what? No. Morozevich, dude, was like in the top 10 in the world, Asterbate. That's like Kamsky. You know, once you are like a 2700, you don't, you know, go down to like average grandmaster level after that. Even if you take time off, you're still going to be at least 2600. You're talking about players that were in the top 10 in the world. That's like another level on, you know, even beyond 2650. Nothing but chess. Maybe because I didn't grow up like that. You know, I never approached chess where it was the only thing in my life. I started chess late, and by definition I couldn't like only focus on chess. I never did that, never knew how to do that, you know. I became obsessed with chess, but still. I only started playing chess when I was like 11. I was playing Little League baseball when other chess prodigies were probably starting their chess careers. Actually, it's funny, there are really no very strong players from my generation in the United States at all. There was kind of a dearth of players. I'm like the post-Fischer, it was like the post-Fischer boom, letdown generation. There were no strong players in my age. Well, I mean, not from the United States anyway. From other countries, yes. Who's my generation? Hannah Stephenson from Iceland, the same age as me. I don't know, as far as like Eastern players. Who's the same age? Maybe like Dreyev is probably around my age. What famous player is closest to my age? Michael Adams, Anand, a little older than me, both of them. This is not a draw. This is not a test. Is it? Could it be? Oh my god. Could this be a draw now? Boogie Nights. This could be a draw. Who's the strongest opponent I ever played? Yeah, I mean, I always have to answer that question like, well, when I played them, you know. Like, Belyavsky, probably. He was... I've never played anybody that was over 2700 when I played them. I've played people who reached 2700. I played Magnus, but he was younger at the time. Is White gonna lose? I played all these great players, but all of them are younger. You know, Caruana, Aronian, Magnus. I never played anyone who was actively 2700 at the time when I played them. White should take on h5 there. Wow, is he gonna save this game? Holy crap. He did. I thought he should take on h5, but I'm actually wrong. Yeah, no, it's a draw. We don't talk about that. Who do you think won? It was close, man. It's like the only time I ever remember having a 6-pawn queen ending against somebody. I lost the 6 pawns each queen ending against Magnus. That's really doesn't happen every day, you know. I don't even remember having another game where I had that many pawns and a queen ending. Like 4 or 5 pawns is like normal, but 6? It's just not every day you have a 6-pawn queen ending. Or like, I guess 7 is theoretically possible, but 8-pawn queen ending is theoretically possible. Like, King f4 winning? You mean like immediately? Looks like it is. King f4. King d5. King takes. King e6. I'm not sure. King g5. It's a draw. White was winning. I mean, I knew this was going to be a problem for Stat Bargain. As I said earlier about his king, you know. It's a draw. Though this is crazy now. So you're in the square of the pawn. At this point, both players have under 30 seconds. But clearly black should have like got his horse and started running down the board. He hesitated with king f7, which was a terrible blunder. And the white was winning again. I don't know, man. I'm terrible at endgames. I just lost 2 games in draw and rook endgames. Playing as much as possible. Saving your time for the endgame. My new strategy is to like save my time for endgames. I inexplicably like melted down and lost 2 drawn endgames last week. Play as much as you can. I mean, maybe even like practice by like trying to play endgames, like consciously going for endgames. I think a lot of people who aren't confident in endgames, the problem is like because they know they're not good at endgames, they avoid playing endgames. And then you're just, it's almost like you have a disease and you're making it worse. You know? If you know you need help with endgames, don't avoid playing endgames. You know, like consciously like try to play more endgames. You need practice. I think that's a serious problem. I know like someone on sound is constantly like, oh, I'm terrible at endgames, so he like tries to actively avoid endgames. That's the wrong idea. I mean, if you're bad at something, then you need to do it more. I mean, obviously like playing and studying are both necessary, you know. I like endgames, but I don't have time to study now. I mean, I'm working all the time. I don't have time to like bust out like, you know, the Smyslav's endgame, rook endgame book and practice my rook endgames. I mean, when am I going to do that, you know? I'm not in high school anymore. But I mean, if you do have time, I think you should study like serious books. Screw like Chessable or whatever. Get out real, like get real books or get ebooks. Real books, you know, are the way to learn and study endgames. There's no shortcuts. I mean, Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual, yeah, sure, okay. I mean, it's probably not bad. But I feel like, you probably should get like the Averbach Endgame books or something like really, really serious if you wanna improve. Really be good at endgames. The Dvoretsky like one book endgame manual, I mean, this is okay. It's a good place to start, but that's probably not like the best thing you can do for your endgame. Your puzzle rating is 2300. Well, the demographics, yeah, it's useful, WJ Loof, to do stuff like that and see, where your weaknesses lie. I believe in statistics. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I should have played knight h3. Next time, I'll play knight h3. Maybe later. e4, knight h3. This kills them psychologically when you do this. Shaki is like throwing his computer out the window right now. He's having like a Nakamura bullet anger meltdown or something. It can become an exchange French. You don't say. The world's leading expert in the exchange French. The most exciting opening known to man. I'm a real specialist in that. I don't play this because I want to play boring chess. I just don't want to, like, deal with it. I don't want to lose the initiative. Interesting. This is interesting. Why am I like tempted to play a3 now when I normally don't like it? That's funny. How about bishop d3, queen h4, g3 resigns. Bishop d3 check, king f1. If you really want to have fun, that's fun. Yeah, I mean, knight e4 has got to be, it's got to be worse than after d takes e5. This has to be really incorrect for black. It is my biggest chess weakness. Facing it head on. By Averbach, you recommend? I guess they're both good. I don't know. The thing about the Averbach, like, it'd be really tempting to buy the whole set. It's probably super expensive. I mean, Smyslov just specifically did rook endgames. That was his, like, specialty. Whereas Averbach's, endgame books are... There's an entire set on all endgames. Aw. But it's an investment. But I mean, it's like, honestly, if I bought the Averbach series, I would probably, like, want to just make photocopies of it and keep the books, like, as sort of like an investment. I wouldn't even, like, want to, like, take them out. I mean, I guess that's out of print. I can't imagine, like, they're still printing the Averbach endgame books. That's ridiculous, right? Can you even buy them? King e2. What I liked about the Averbach was their hardcover. Really good quality hardcover books. You can keep them forever. I mean, I never had them. My best friend had, like, I think the complete set. He probably still has them. A lot of good they do him as an economist, but he also had a membership, a lifetime membership to the U.S. Chess Federation. That's useful if you, like, quit chess in your 20s, right? It's always useful having a lifetime membership to the USCF and quitting chess. So I'm the guy who, like, doesn't get a lifetime membership, but I'm still playing chess. I'm kind of glad, though. I don't live in the U.S. I have no reason, unless Mr. Coffee's, like, buying me a membership to the USCF so they can siphon off some more rating points. I have no reason to be a member of the U.S. Chess Federation. They've stolen, like, at least 50 rating points from me. So you can guarantee, like, if I'm not a USCF member, I'm, like, gaining points somewhere. I'll be, like, $23.99 soon, USCF. One of these days, I'll go under 2,400 and go for some class prize when I'm, like, 65. International Master who? Playing in the for the under 2,400 prize. There's Mr. Coffee now. They got me down to, like, 2411 or something, right? It's embarrassing. Okay, my FIDE rating sucks, but that's at least FIDE ratings aren't as inflated. I think FIDE ratings have been majorly deflated since they expanded the rating system. I played the French defense today. I have only a handful of French defenses. I beat Volokitin's dad in a tournament game. That's my biggest French. He was like a 1900, 2000 player. Probably my best French over the board victory. I like beating, like, Grandmaster's dads. I want to put that in my... By the way, I want to change my, like, Skype. My Twitch. What do you guys think if I change my Twitch description to, like, International Master Will Pascal? I battled against the likes of Arthur Bisgeyer and Magnus Carlsen's dad. You know? Would that be better? Should I change it? Just to be kind of funny? I've beaten Magnus Carlsen's dad. Check out my streams. I played Knight G1. I am Leon Coach. Why does everybody keep doing that? That's the second person who came in my stream and typed !arena. Why? Oh, I beat Nakamura's dad. Well, that's his stepdad. I've got that one too. But Sunil beat me once first when I was, like, 14. It was probably a Grand Prix attack. I don't remember. I think I was like 1800. Most of the streamers, when hosting a tournament, they put the chat command arena. The problem is it's not an arena. You thought Sunil was good at endings? He's good at playing the Grand Prix attack. You assume because someone's a chess coach that they have, like, technical skills? He's probably okay, you know, but... Good at marketing, maybe. Dude, he's a coffee house player. I mean, whatever. Seriously. I would call him like a hacker style player, man. I mean, Hikaru's stepdad. He's a rabbit basher. He was good at beating like weaker players, but I mean, objectively, yeah, not a really highly trained chess pro, you know, like moi. I remember the last time I played Sunil, the only time I beat him, we only played twice. Like, Move 11 saw this game. I apparently sacked my queen or something. I have no recollection of doing that. I might have been drunk, honestly. Like, there's a strong possibility that I was drunk when I was playing Sunil. It just occurred to me. You know, I was like, well, A, why don't I remember the game really very well? Secondly, why would I like sack my queen against Hikaru's dad? It was like a World Open. I was having a bad tournament. Like, why am I playing Sunil in the first place? I was probably like tilted. I had probably like lost to Danny Wrench in a previous round while like drunk. And I'm like sitting in the bar drinking Long Island iced teas with Emery Tate or something. Oh yeah, that'll be my like new description for like, that should be my new description. I've battled with the likes of Emery Tate, Arthur Bisgeyer, and Sunil Weramantry. Jim's chess is rating with party of 1. Wow, B5. You really want to like make him hate life now? You play B3. It's a wing gambit, but I mean, I'm playing a French for my bad bishop is gone. You know, that's not a bad deal. No bad bishop. Look, ma. No bad bishop. No, maybe I was drinking during the game with Hikaru's dad. I can't understand like why I would sack my queen against him. It was apparently like unsound. I might have been in trouble. Or the game score was just like wrong. But I was definitely most likely having a bad tournament. And it was toward the end of the tournament. I remember that much. It was probably like round 7, 8, or, you know, something like that out of 9 rounds. I'm playing Sunil. Obviously, I'm not having a good tournament. And I won. It's also possible the game score was wrong. Someone recorded it incorrectly. But I vaguely do think I might have sacked my queen. I am Leon Chess Coach. With the weird comment, I smashed my head against a mirror, if that helps. That's kind of a weird thing to say. It's going around. Tao was big on that, apparently. Before my time, though. B6. Maybe I should just, like, consider taking. He's probably going to take with the knight, though. I honestly don't know what to do here. I have no clue. He wants to put his knight on d3. He wants to put his knight on b4. It has to go to b4 before it can go to d3, dude. Just saying. You know? We could cut it off. Cut it off in the... We can cut it off in the first place. We're not going to let it go to b4. First off, he has queen g5 here. And the Petrosian asks bishop f1. Oh yeah, he did it. But it's not my only move. Bofanik recommends... Wait, what does Mama recommend? Uber driver's here. Mama says knock you out. So castles. Fear not, young Jedi. I'm a true French player now. That could be an issue. Well, we can always sack the exchange. I'm suddenly in trouble. We can always sack a pawn, though. Sack a pawn, though. Tempted to sacrifice a pawn. I could sack the exchange as well. Don't really want to do that. Bishop e2, bishop h3. I don't know. Shaki, do you even play the wing gambit with white? Does he even play the wing gambit? That's kind of weird, right? I don't remember having wing gambit against you. You play the wing gambit since when? You think I would have had that already if you played the wing gambit? That's kind of strange. I can play bishop a4, but it's dangerous. Maybe it's still... Bishop a4, bishop a6, is that a problem? It's not a problem, is it? Bishop a6, okay. And? Good game. You said he wanted to put his knight on d3. You lied. He had no intention of playing knight d3 all along. Dude, why are you deceiving me like that? It's really weird, man. Guys, I forgot. Is this round 4 or round 5? Why can't he still play knight d3 soon? I don't know, man. It's hard to get it there from b8. The whole idea of my entire setup, the reason why I played rook c1 was so I could play a3. You know that, right? That's why I played this move. So I can play a3 without my, like, rook hanging on a1. He's never going to play knight b4 to d3. He could sack the exchange here. But I guess it's just... it doesn't work. Uber driver, you seem like you like the French defense. No one's perfect. But Capablanca's opponents were like... who? You know, like, let him do that. Yeah. Joe Shipman seems like he's pretty far gone into QAnon or something like that. Never a guy I knew very well, but although his dad seemed like a nice guy. He was a good player. He was an IM. Must have been the mother's influence. Yeah, dude, he was a good player. He was legit IM. Of course. I never played Walter, but I played in a lot of tournaments where he played. It just happened that I never got paired with him because our ratings were too close. When Walter Shipman was an older man, he was like 2300. Probably our ratings were always like too close to get paired with each other in a Swiss system. That's why I never played him. I remember him well. No, you're bringing back a weird memory. I think I remember watching Shipman play like Kamran Shirazi at the World Open. It was like a Philidor. It's funny how things are these memories are stuck in our brains. It was so long ago, and you can just like dig out this totally random memory. From a million years ago. This snapshot of Walter Shipman playing Shirazi in a random tournament game from like 1991. I never would have thought of that if you hadn't brought it up. It's just like a totally lost memory. They probably played a lot, though, at the Marshall. Yeah, maybe my memory's wrong, though. Sometimes you screw things up and you change your memories. Maybe it wasn't Shirazi. I thought it was. No, Shirazi played white or black. Somebody was playing the Philidor. It was like one of those G6 Philidors. He's in France, you know. He's still a good player. But he's crazy. Plays crazy stuff, as always. But I think Shirazi is very credible. I mean, he's impressively strong for his age. What is he, like 60? And he's still hovering around 2400. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for an IM, you know, to be 60 and maintain an ELO rating of around 2400. That means that you're freaking tough. A lot of grandmasters are drifting under 2400 these days. Shirazi was dangerous. Very, very strong tactically. Extremely strong. Now, one of the best blitz players in New York. So e4, pawn takes e4. e4, bishop takes e4. Man, I think black's in trouble. I have all my horses developed. Horses. Get your horses lined up. The other day, like, someone brought up the fact that Shirazi lost to Jack Peters that 5-move game where he dropped his rook on A1 and of all things, you know what? I mean, what a weird thing to remember someone for. He probably stayed up all night playing, like, backgammon and then, like, you know, was sleep deprived. He qualified for the U.S. Championship. I mean, that's pretty impressive for an IM in the 80s. He was able to get his U.S. rating up to 2,600 or something. What about Rook G5 here? I never played Shirazi in a tournament game. We played Blitz. I had a couple of Blitz sessions with him. Both times were pretty tough. I had like a 3-way session with him and Nenad Sulava, who was a Croatian GM, and then another time I played Shirazi and Helgi Olafsson. I like just like torturing myself. The guy's like, he's kidding me, right? You're kidding me. Why you don't play Bullet? I don't know, man. Why not be like a trash truck driver or something? I don't really see a reason to do that. It's totally random. It's not chess. It's a waste of time. I mean, this is like everything I preach all the time. People just don't get it, you know? It's like... I like Mike Valvo. Not personally, but I like when he put in his finger notes on ICC that, like, bullet chess is basically masturbation. It's a crude way of expressing it, but it's true, you know? I mean, that's basically what it is. It's the chess version of masturbation. Valvo was kind of an angry guy. I mean, he seemed like he could be very unpleasant at times. But I agree with his philosophy there. I just don't understand. It's just like TikTok, you know? TikTok is a virus. Why you don't make TikTok videos? Because I don't care, you know? I don't want to compromise myself by being a robot. Magnus Carlsen doesn't mind selling himself out by playing bullet chess. I mean, he wants to be rich and popular. I think it's a waste of time. You see, like, Kramnik playing bullet chess? Seriously. Does Vladimir Kramnik play bullet chess? Who's Vladimir Kramnik? He's not as popular as Magnus Carlsen, but I think he probably had a chance. You know? If anybody had a chance... It's ironic that, like, of all the people who maybe had a chance to, like, beat Magnus Carlsen, he quits chess. Like, why play chess if it's going to be about bullet? No wonder Kramnik quit, you know? Coincidence? I gave up on, like, defending my A pawn tactically. This is just better for white, but no, you know, clear winning position. It's a crushing advantage for white. Developmental. You're hitting my D pawn. That's not nice. Not nice. Not nice. Whoa. What just happened? He's given up on his knight too. That's interesting. WJ Loof, you play guitar too? Bullet guitar. Seriously, it's like art, man. If chess is art, then what is bullet chess? If you equate chess to art, if you equate chess to like visual arts or whatever, any kind of music, whatever, you know, it's pop music. What is bullet chess? It's just trash. Throw it in the trash. It's disposable. It's nothing. It's about watching grandmasters hang pieces, you know. Why don't you play bullet chess? Because I love chess, you know, not watching TikTok videos. Feels like there should be something here. Well, I guess I don't have a choice. Induce the weakness. The knight still can't move. Where is he going to move that knight? Unbelievable. It still didn't move. It's like he's trolling us. You have to be trolling us. Wow. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't understand why he did it that way. That was kind of weird. After all that time, then he like, then he finally, he takes on he cracked and took on B5. That was weird. ekes with 3 points. He's been tough with me lately. Last round. ekes and the Greek crew. ekes has been having a good run lately. He lost the first round to Alms, but 3-0 since then. He drew me last time. Bonatri only has 2.5 though, losing to Ekes. Wow, the Greek battle, inner team. There's also Sigurosmi who left, who beat me a while back. I don't understand. Ali Reza joined the team, then quit. Wait, was that our veterinary friend with a new account? No. Bullet chess is the toilet humor of comedy craft. It's sad though, dude. You know, it's sad. I mean, but I think it extends beyond bullet chess. It's blitz too. At least blitz is somewhat constructive. You know, I'm not gonna say like blitz is always bad, but to create the culture of chess around blitz and bullet, now we're really like trashing the game. It's like it makes it easier to promote chess to the masses, but you're also like cheapening it. It's basically pop music. I'd rather just like be poor and, you know, have 20 viewers than play bullet and have like hundreds, you know, whatever. I want to be like, you know, serious about the game. But I don't think that Magnus was a good influence on chess. He may have promoted it, but not in a good way. Kramnik was a great world champion in the sense that he was a true player and a tremendous, amazingly strong player as a world champion. Anand, a good ambassador, but also, you know, more on the blitz side. Alright, Dinekis. They just want to pretend to play chess. The masses, they are. This real chess takes a lot of hard work. Who wants to do that? I mean, that's not fun. Taking your time and really trying to play here like a serious 30-40 minute game. Hopa. What is this? What is this? Closed Sicilian. No. Maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Accelerated Dragon. No. Closed Sicilian. Standard, closed Sicilian. I developed my knight. Yeah, it's good. Alright. Finally home, Mr. Coffee. Speaking of coffee, you might mock my h5, but Ponda approves. This move is Ponda approved. God forbid having to drive into work. It's a tough life, man. Mobile office. You're spoiled now, Mr. Coffee, working with all the cats at home. How dare those employers demand you go into the office? I'm enjoying my beer tonight. We have 2 beers. Just chill. I'm afraid, like, you know, look at our, our attendance. I mean, there's only like 20 players since I started making it rapid. When we like did Blitz, it was more like 30, even 40 more. I can promote it more, but still, people don't want to invest the time. They don't want to invest the time playing 15 plus 5. If I make it 10 plus 5, it'll be a little bit more. If I make it 5, it'll be a little bit more. It's the scheduling? Maybe. I mean, yes and no, Uber driver. Partially. Partially. Like, I realize my streams don't line up with people who live in the United States, man. I understand. Actually, you didn't watch my streams when I was in America, right? You only started in the last couple of years catching my streams here. Yeah, I don't know what I should do with this. This knight needs to go. I could also play queen c8 inducing king h2. This is weird, though, for white. I don't know what to make of it. The ekes seem to have gotten stronger. I mentioned this. But I don't play enough games against him to be really sure what's up with that. But, like, seem to have gotten stronger. I mean, just that little pattern there is enough statistically to show something. He was like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Half win, half, you know. He's almost like getting better. You're allowed to get better. Just don't beat me. But it's also like extremely fast. Almost like he's a different player than he was before. I'm paranoid. For good reason. Don't trust anybody. I don't trust my own mother. You saw a couple when I was in... Yeah. Well... Yeah, I've been priced out of the United States. I got my international driver's license today. Well, it's really messed up. It's only good for a year. So America has a deal with Hungary. The international equivalency driver's license only lasts for a year. You have to get a new one every year. They probably hate Orban. But that's stupid. Like, why is this thing... Amy! I forgot about Amy. Oh my god, Amy. Wait, who was Amy? That was my phone. Right. You have good memory, Mr. Coffee. Gotta admit it. That was a long time ago. Yeah, Amy was calling my phone because I had a phone. I still have it, but I never use it. I just pay for an American mobile phone so I can have it just in case. It's great. It's really intelligent. You know how painful it was to, like, get a phone number where I'm constantly getting harassed by these, like, messages from whoever had it before? And then I figured, man, I spent like 3 or 4 years like cleaning out this phone and weeding out all those people and all that annoying like crap. And now, you know, my phone is finally like, it's probably like spam free, you know. Now I'm gonna like give it up. There's no way I'm giving up my phone number now that I've like gotten rid of all that stuff. And then, like, somebody just strolls into, like, you know, the phone place and gets a phone that doesn't have all kind of annoying people calling you all the time. I'm not going to make it easy for somebody. Bob never had my mobile phone. Thank God, dude. Speaking of Bob, he's been really MIA lately. Very, very, very positional play by White in this game. It's like playing Dragon Kosic or something. There is a possibility of h4. Wow. I think we try it. Dude, I mean, my opponent is like a grandmaster. He became a grandmaster at some point around game 10 against me. But he's playing like extremely sophisticated positional system here with white. Of course, there is some risk involved. Woke! Don't say that. What is this? Florida, Asterbate? Don't say woke. Uber Driver's just obsessed with you don't play. I played one game against him, but that I don't remember, but can confirm he is a GM. Now white missed a simple tactic here, but I'm not sure. You know, he's extremely fast. The problem is that he didn't play on my stream a lot for a long time. I don't know. Kind of forgot what he played like. I have knight takes g4. Check. But what the thing about it that's weird for me is, like, I guess if you're a positional player, I would think like you'd be more patient and sort of strategic. The guys who play super fast are normally those players that play based on tactics. Tactics are easier than strategic play. Does anybody disagree with me? Tactics are easy. You either see it or you don't. You know, I mean, it's like, it's there or it's not. Strategic play takes time. You have to think it through. You have to maneuver. See, like, ekes is playing super fast, but it's like a strategic style, which requires time, normally. I mean, here he's in trouble. It's weird, you know what I mean? It's like inconsistent. Really, I mean, with tactics, okay, it takes some time to learn to calculate, but once you learn to calculate, you can do it fairly quickly. Strategy takes tons of time. You could spend hours conceiving of plans and positions. I'm not sure I'm safe here. This is probably not the safest move either. Pawn takes... I don't know, is that actually safer? Should I take on e3? Wow, you just instant move. It's like, really? You're instantly moving? You have potential, WJ Loof. You're attentive, you think, you pay attention. You're way ahead of most people. Seriously. I don't want to like get a new phone and then have to like go through the process of weeding out all the trash again. I probably never use my American phone for the rest of my life though. But I don't want to just like let someone have the pleasure of walking into the phone place and getting my number and not having to go through the torture that I went through. You know what I mean? Am I sadistic? With all the crap that Amy put me through? Is it sadistic of me not to like want to let someone off easy? The torture that I had to endure with Amy's phone. But I'm like paying for nothing. It's a huge waste of money. I thought I would maybe like go back to the United States at some point. If I ever go, I'll have a phone to use. Great. I mean, we live in the 21st century. It should be like reasonable to have like an international mobile phone plan, but it probably costs like $1 million. Because who has international mobile phone plans? Like business people. It's like getting a. It's got to be like getting like first class airline tickets, like in business class. They charge like an exorbitant amount because the only people that need it are like international business travelers. Vonage. I don't even know what is Vonage anymore. That's an old name. Within EU, yeah. No, within EU, it's totally okay. Yeah, absolutely Shaki. But to like go to the United States and then go to Hungary, like, it would probably like be like ridiculously expensive to try to use the same phone. You just have to have like 2 different phones. It's so dumb. I mean, there's no reason that business class seats on airplanes should cost like $5,000 either. But they charge what they can charge, right? I mean, because companies are just willing to overpay. Though I don't know why necessarily. If like economy class in an airplane costs like $500, why should business class cost like 5,000? I mean, it's like crazy stuff. Shouldn't there be some kind of like reasonable amount? All right, now. Last game. What exactly is White thinking about? LOL. Well, I mean, my question is, like, what was he thinking about last week when he insta-moved? After queen takes, like, wouldn't you think, like, you have 15 minutes here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 squares you could move the bishop to. And he just instantly moved it. I would think like that position would be normal to think for like a couple minutes maybe. It said he like insta played bishop f4 and then thinks on 93. I mean, that's weird. I would have spent like 3 minutes on the last move if I was white. Not on like the forced move. Of course he can sack the exchange. He's thinking about sacking the exchange, but why not think last move? Of course he could consider sacrificing the exchange. I don't really want his rook though. I'm thinking more about like taking the bishop on g2. That's a huge defender. Hey, what happened? Maybe he's disconnected. No, he's still green. You're missing time. That explains a lot, Asterbait. Asterbait was abducted by aliens. Thinking about girls. He was abducted by aliens, man. He lives near, like, Area 51. Or some sort of government testing program. That's why he's such a space cadet. Alright, so now Queen E1. Well, I'm not going to complain about my opponent actually taking time and thinking, because it's a good sign, but it was a little weird. So he's almost checkmated here. And white is totaled. I mean, I'm not taking the rook. I mean, this bishop is an absolutely like key defender. There's no way white's surviving after this on the white squares. I just realized my rook is hanging though. I didn't even realize the whole time. Wow. That's crazy. So that's maybe why he really didn't want to take. He wants to like use this threat against my rook on b8 all along. It never even entered my mind that my rook was hanging. It didn't seem particularly relevant. Okay, so I don't really want to let him on. I don't want to let him on like h2. If it gets on h2, it's going to be hard to flush him out of there. He went to g1. I think it's safer to go to f2 probably. Rook g8. Anybody? Do we have any fans of Rook G8 out there? Kind of like that move. But he probably has something reasonable against it. I don't see it though. Oops, I hung my rook. Damn, dude. I mean, I don't know, dude. This just looks... Wow. The best defense is a great offense. Micro-managed. Man. I miss, like, Hungry Man dinners. I want, like... You know what I miss is, like, the 80s. 70s, actually. Late 70s, early 80s. No. Rook b6 is a nice idea. I saw it. But the problem is... This is just... It's double check, you know? The double check is the most vicious move in chess. The rook is only a... You know what, deep down, Uber driver, you're like... It's your materialistic subconscious. You just... You can't handle leaving your rook on prise. Like, seriously. I'm not nervous at all. I miss the best thing about the late 70s and early 80s is like TV dinners. Those like little, we had these like little TV dinner tray stands where you'd eat your TV dinner. Like, that's awesome. I was watching Stranger Things. There was some episode of Stranger Things or some other TV series I saw where they had like the little tables that you would like watch TV and eat your TV dinner. I had this nostalgia for that. Bishop e6 is a beautiful thing. Shepherd's pie. That's true, UK. They used to have that in the lunchroom in elementary and high school. But I tried to avoid eating food from the cafeteria in public school. That's a classic. But I mean, something that can be good. It's just like your whole perception of something is ruined when it's like a bad one. You know what I mean? Like, shepherd's pie for me is always like disgusting because it was horrible. It was school cafeteria shepherd's pie is that's how I identify shepherd's pie. you know. The G file is rather breezy. Wait, I hung my rook. Breezy is as breezy does. I'm gonna have to close the G file, I'm afraid. But I think this is an interesting game from the perspective of not taking his rook, but taking the bishop instead. Man witches. I remember man witches, man. Sloppy Joes, right? Man witch is just a marketing name. It's a sloppy Joe. Astrobate. That's just not... It's not right of you to call it a man witch. Sloppy Joe, dude. Those are the best. My aunt, my dad's sister, used to make sloppy joes. She wasn't really a good cook, but she could do the sloppy joe. The bachelorette cooking. It doesn't take like a skilled hand to make sloppy joe. Probably like W.J. Loof remembers those. They had that in the lunchroom too, probably. What does it have to do with Adam Sandler? Is there some reference? My bot is online again. Double check is always an issue, isn't it? Look, Ma, free rook. You know, the way that I play this game makes it look coffee house, but to be honest, it's like how I beat Horvath Adam in the 2 nights or whatever it is, 4 nights. I think that this kind of coffee house attack is semi-justified when the opponent castles and commits their king, like, kind of early. You might think, well, h5 is coffee house. Not really, you know. I mean, if he's gonna commit his king so early, when I'm not committed, I mean, you're making a very risky decision there. Now what? G2. Then G2 is seriously ooh, Phil. Queen H1 check. Queen H1. Lunch Lady Land. Adam Sandler, probably. My generation, I guess. Asprade's got the link. My opponent is not going to give up without a fight here. There is no mate. Double queens. Chick. Wow, this is a funny position. I could be like up a bishop in the ending with queen takes f1. That's so funny. Oh no, Mr. Bill. You would like, yes, to trade queen. Would trade queens. Forcing all the pieces off the board. To arrive in the endgame. You've arrived in endgame land. Good luck with that. Alright. Yeah. So, where did this thing really fall apart? You know, I mean, I thought it was an unclear game. It's a very interesting plan. His, like, knight d5 here. Almost Andy Soltis-like. So apparently he has f5, and it's good. I should have been more cautious. But I don't like the knight coming to c4 and hitting my soft underbelly with that. It's possible e6 is a big mistake. Wow. Stockfish wants to bust the f5 on him. This is insanely radical. Thanks WJ for tuning in and paying attention. White had a big advantage. He was winning. Strategically winning position, plus 2.6. And, wow, the computer just doesn't like what I did. I figured I was rolling dice here. Because the avalanche. But luckily he, like, fell for it. One tactical mistake and it all falls apart. You see, like, knight takes g2 is the best move. Well, I can't take on f1 anyway because my rook's hanging, so this is forced. And now, Uber driver rook b6 was a move. This is good enough. Rook b6 was a move. It's close between rook b6 and rook g8. Wow. Rook b6 is actually much stronger. Wow. I was afraid like something would happen. He would have some inner position or something, like he would cut off my rook. Alright guys. That was a fun game. I was in trouble. Losing to Kosic in mid-game there. Shockey's still playing. Going for second place. He needs at least a draw for second place. Against M. Pokey. I like how Shockey played like super solid against Alms, and then he like played the Fajarowicz gambit against me. He has multiple personality disorder. He's down a piece here. Whoa. Man. That is gonna be a problem. See, black moved too quickly. I mean, he's up a piece here. I mean, obviously this is a dangerous position and white has a strong attack. Check. You gotta... I mean, not check, but... Okay, we gotta move the queen to a safe square. So, I guess it's f7. Or even d6. I mean... I'm not sure what's going on here. I mean, white has compensation. Is it sure? He quickly, like, dropped the queen. Don't forget this increment. An increment is there for a reason. Because I don't want the games to be determined by just time. A lot of you guys are playing and you don't you know, you're maybe not used to playing with increment, but I think it's important. Real chess is played with increment now. Ruslan playing Staffvargan. Wow. Staffvargan's all over him. Dude got seriously overextended. Man, Staffvargan's brutal. He's 4-0 against Ruslan. You'd think, like, with the rating, that rating distribution, White would at least, like, have a draw. He's getting brutalized the 5th time. Sometimes it's a stylistic thing. With the 250 rating points higher, White should have a half point or something, I would say. What was the opening, though? Staffvargan's black. It's not a stone wall. He's playing what, e4? Oh yeah, the Caro-Kann. It's kind of a weird combination, the Stonewall defense and the Caro-Kann. Normally people play the French in the Caro-Kann. I mean the French in the Stonewall. Like Botvinnik. But Staffvargan playing Caro-Kann and Stonewall. I mean, they're both light square pawn structures. Yeah, Ruslan's just dead. There's no way to stop that. That's a queen. So, last game is over. Tournament is over. Sloth Rapid returns. The rerun. I took it down with a 24-67 performance. Shockey. Dude, check him out. Shockey managed a 24-84 performance. That is impressive. Even with 4 out of 5, he still has a 24-84 performance. So he played like a very strong field. And Ekes, as lately, he's been doing better. So I won it. Shockey, congratulations for 2nd. Ekes, congratulations for 3rd. We've got Mpoki, Bonachfi, Staffvargan. No doubt Staffvargan played a strong field. Dracofire. ST, World Loser just left after 3 games. Akshak. Also, Astrobate, our hero, in 13th place. Lucky 13. Astrobate did get on the scoreboard with a first round win against Dracofire. Congratulations. Thanks everybody for tuning in for this Tuesday night. Thanks to all of you for subscribing and for supporting the stream. We'll be back Wednesday, Weird Wednesday, unusual openings, Rapid Chess tomorrow. Thanks everybody. Lots of love. We'll see you later. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, as always. Bye-bye.